everybody, it's me, ASMR Classic, I think. How you doing? I've got another book here I was going to share with you. I feel a bit stupid. I've actually just recorded this 15-minute video and for some reason there was no vision. So I hope it's going to work this time. No, I'm not sure what I did wrong either. But if you don't know already, the idea of us doing this is that we're trying to get to 1,000 followers. Because I think if you get to 1,000 followers, you start to get some revenue from YouTube. And we want to use this revenue to write some new ASMR-specific dramas from a little theatre company that I'm involved in. It's a not-for-profit charity. Excuse me, still coughing and sniffling. And I've not actually been here for a while. I did a show in the United States of America, which was rather glorious. A place called Kansas City, which is also a lovely place. Kansas City, Ohio. No, hang on, I've got to get it right. Yeah, it's not Kansas City, Kansas. Kansas City, Missouri. That's the one. You need to know the difference, apparently. And I did have some barbecue, which is very nice. I was also struck again by how lovely the Americans were. They treated me very well, as they always have done in my experience. I'm sure there are some bad Americans, but I've never met any in the few times I've been there. Although it's also the first time I've been over there for some years. And I had a nice American chap at immigration as well. You know, sometimes that can be a bit frightening. My chap was lovely, very nice. We went into Chicago O'Hare, so if you're an immigration chap. And yes, saw a writer come in and said, "Welcome to the States, then it's you. Thank you very much for making me feel so welcome." Then I was at the Edinburgh Fringe for a month, for August. Oops, move me back out of the way. And so I've not really been here for very long. And I've not been able to get into my little cupboard here to do any writing or recording. But I thought, now that I'm back, we'll do a little bit. And as always, I hope you don't mind, I'm going to share this book that I bought recently. And I've not read it myself, I've not seen it myself. But I have to say, the first time I've done this, I have looked at it just a few minutes ago. For some reason, there was no image on this video. I have no idea what I did wrong. I'm perhaps not the most technical person in the world, to say the least. But let's have a look at this. Great bag. Books are my bag. I ought to really use the hashtag choose bookshops. I'm not sure what it's like in the rest of the world, but apparently there is a resurgence now in smaller bookshops, certainly in England, probably the whole of the United Kingdom. And it's lovely to see it. There's a great convenience, isn't there, with an online book or a Kindle. But there ain't nothing like the real thing, and perhaps people are now swinging back to the light side. I mean, I certainly like a physical book, which is why I've got this. So let's have a look, shall we? Yes. Voila. It is called In Writing, and as you can see, it's a signed copy, which I got from a bookshop called Everybody Read, which is in Chiswick in West London. A lot of my books used to come from Notting Hill Bookshop, but this is a relatively new shop. It's open not far from where I live, so it's nice to go see it. Now you may notice the sudden sort of jump in the shop, or the shot I should say there. That's because the first 5 minutes of this video I did about 4 days ago, and I thought I'd better just check and see if it's still there. I'm sorry, sort out my microphone. It is still there. So I'm going to carry on with this in the hope that this is working as well. Not brilliant technically, but let me move this out of the way. Excuse me again. So it's called In Writing. I wonder if that's a nod. It probably is a nod to Stephen King's seminal book on writing called On Writing. I'm guessing it is. Let me just move this bag out of the way and this wire as well. Books are my bag. Maybe I should put this hashtag in the information. Choose bookshops. So I thought we'd have a little bit of a look at this book because obviously I'm guessing the fact that you're here now, see if I can move my... Oh, crikey, okay. Means you either like books or you are a writer yourself. And it's quite interesting. As it says here, a charming stew of mediations on process, craft and courage by some of my favourite writers ever. Anne Lamott. I've actually had a couple of pints as well tonight and I'm feeling a little bit unusual actually. And looking at the stuff on the back, I didn't realise this was a podcast, but it is. Based on Hattie Crizell's popular podcast, here is an inspiring and fascinating glimpse into the creative process with some of our best-loved contemporary writers. You can see all the contributors here, from James Acaster and Meg Wurlitzer, David Sedaris, Maggie O'Farrell, wow, David Nichols, Graham Norton, Charlie Brooker. Was it Dark Materials? You know the one anyway, the TV show. Emily Johnson. Anyway, yes. A quote from Jenny Godfrey, author of The List of Suspicious Things. I adore this book. It's already earned its place on my favourite books about writing shelf. A triumph. Full of inventive but also life-affirming ways of honing one's craft. This book is the ultimate reminder of why writers do what they do. And Katie Hessel, author of The Story of Art Without Men. That's a great name, isn't it? Excuse me again. Anyone who's interested in good writing will love it. Andrew Hunter Murray, author of A Beginner's Guide to Breaking and Entering. Thoughtful, illuminating and reassuring. It made me laugh out loud and sigh in solidarity and had me itching to get back to the page. Claire Daveley, author of Talking at Night. Fascinating, illuminating and inspiring. Buy it for all the writers and readers in your life. Lottie Mogok, author of Kiss Me First. And it's published by Granta. And as I think I might have mentioned at the start, this isn't a sponsored thing. I bought this from, well, Everybody Reads in Chiswick. So let's have a little look inside. Conversations on inspiration, perspiration and creative desperation. Many of us perhaps can relate to that. And obviously I won't go all the way through it, because that would be, well, take a very, very long time, but also would mean it might be a bit difficult from the copyright point of view. But you can see the contents, introduction, contributors, note on the text. How do we find flow? Where do ideas come from? What's so hard about writing? How do we tell the truth? What shape is a story? What can language do? How do we survive the rewrite? Someone did say that writing is all rewriting. How do writers learn? And what's so hard about being read? What are writers' rewards? The writer's rewards. So, I might have a little look in there, but I thought I'd read the front cover because this is always a good taster for what's to come inside. In these intimate and frank conversations with some of our best-loved writers, Hattie Crizell, or is it Crizell, uncovers the mysteries of the creative process. Where do ideas come from? How do stories find their shape? What happens when confidence falters or the work fails? And what does success look like? The answers range from the thought-provoking to the hilarious. Here we meet the novelist who makes a playlist for each manuscript, the screenwriter who considers swearing an art form. Yes, there's a comment I could make there, but I won't. The author who prefers to work in near darkness, and the confessional writer at risk of revealing too much. Taken as a whole, these inspiring interviews amount to an insider's guide to the writing process, its disciplines and demands, its ecstasies and agonies, its coffees, word counts and publishing hurdles. Most of all, they reveal how it really feels to write and to be read. And again from Stuart Heritage, this book is brilliant. I stormed through it in one go. It's one of the best books about writing I've ever read, and certainly the most reassuring. Stuart Hermitage, author of Bold, and as you can see, it costs $16.99 in the UK. It should probably be about the same in the States. I'm aware of time a little bit, but I thought we'd just have a quick dip in, of course. And as you can see, signed by the author. Happy writing. It's nice, isn't it? I obviously need to get to read this. I also love this. That's a great dedication, isn't it? For Mum and Dad, with all my love. Because let's face it, where would it be without our parents? Well, wouldn't we? And we've looked at the contents. So let's just do a little bit of the introduction from Maggie. Hattie, I should say, sorry. In March 2023, I took a train to Oxford, walked along the damp canal towpath, and knocked on the door of the novelist Barbara Trapido, whom I was to interview for my podcast, In Writing. She made coffee, and we sat at the kitchen table with the paraphernalia of family around us. As rain fell on the roof, she told me the story of her life as a novelist, and in the course of the conversation made an offhand remark that stuck with me. I think all writers are part of the same trade union, she said, and we should support each other. Writing involves a lot of time inside your own head. As a journalist, I have on occasion been forced to write a copy while surrounded by people. But even when I'm facing those deadlines in a noisy office or on a train, the act itself remains internal and solitary. It has many delicious moments, but doing it seriously is tough. You can easily get lost and demoralised in that private space, trying to work out why the words won't cooperate. The more years I've dedicated to it, the more curious I've become about what it's like for other writers. The desire to open their kitchen studies or sheds as though they were dolls' houses, and peering at them as they frown at their notebooks and screens. The desire to see what the common ground we all share and what the essence of a writer might be was at the heart of the podcast I started in 2019. Now it's at the heart of this book. I kind of get that as well. I tend to spend a lot of time writing in pubs, which isn't always the healthiest or best place, but it is kind of interesting in that I quite like the idea of being with people and yet solitary, which is what she's describing. I'm aware of the time as well, and it might be that we'll take another little dive into this book. If you'd like me to, please let me know. If you are a writer, then where do you write? Let me know in the comments. And thanks again for your patience. As I say, it's been a busy year with being in America, lovely America, and then in lovely Edinburgh. In fact, I'm in lovely Devon for another week, and then settling back into London for the holiday season. And I think I've got to read some more Christmas carols, more Charles Dickens perhaps. And again, please let me know in the comments if you've got any particular faves. But I'll finish it here now. And just say thank you very much for your time. I hope you find it fairly relaxing. As I've mentioned many times, I discovered ASMR actually when I had COVID. And I tend to retreat to ASMR every night to help me doze off. If you've not a follower, then please click the button down here, I think it is. Is it? You know where it is. You probably know better than I do. And the little, I think the thumbs up helps, and the triangle. Again, you probably know more about it than I do. And thank you very much again for your time. Have a pleasant, lovely, relaxing, productive, gorgeous week. I shall see you next time. And again, as always, to quote Charles Dickens, bless us all, everyone. Thanks again.